What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Scribbles, the artist and crocheter behind Eclectic Scribbles, and we're starting a new video. This is going to be a chatty face-to-face video, so throw me up in the background. If you've got something that you can work on, grab you some crochet supplies, some art supplies, do something, and just listen, because this is going to be a whole lot of this here, and, you don't need to stare at my face for the next however long this video is, when you can be doing something productive. Anyways, grab a beverage, grab something, do something, and I'm just going to talk in your ear until the end of the video, okay? Alright, so I have not picked up my camera to actually vlog anything outside of Artist Alley vlogs and Artist Alley recaps lately. I have spent the last 6-7 weeks not filming any kind of vlog content at all here in the studio, and it's been so weird, and it's probably going to be a little bit weird getting back into it, but we're going to go for it anyways. What I want to talk to you guys today about is it's getting scary. It's getting scary out here with the tariffs and the trade wars and all of that other stuff, and so rather than dwell too much on it, because I think we're all kind of tired of hearing about and talking about how shit the economy here in the U.S. is right now, I kind of wanted to discuss a couple of different ways that I am going to be combating those issues, and how I'm sort of prepping for the future of my business to make sure that it is still sustainable on the other end of all of this. Hopefully this isn't a long-lasting thing. Hopefully this is some temporary uncomfortability or whatever, and that people start picking their marbles up and putting them back in their heads, because at the moment it's absolute absurdity, and the people who are really feeling the pinch are the small businesses. And so yeah, just trying to get over this insanity is going to be an obstacle for all of us. And I just figured that if I could share some of the ways that I'm going to be changing my business based on how things are going right now, maybe you can find something in here that will inspire you to either do something similar, or will spark some kind of thing in you and give you an idea that you might need to do some things for yourself or your small business. All right, I've had this comment come up a couple of times about why there's no crochet at my booths, and this is something that was in the works about 7 or 8 months ago, and that I always waffled on. So let's go into conventions first, as far as what is changing, why it's changing, and what it's going to look like here in the future. So for about the last 7 or 8 months, I have been talking about moving away from my crochet stuff, moving into pattern making, and taking less and less of my crochet stuff with me and doing more patterns, pattern kits and stuff like that. And I kept waffling back and forth because I was scared to just do my art table, having booked out 8 months worth of full 10 by 10 booths or 8 by 10 booths or something like that. I'm like, is my art going to be enough to pay back the cost that I put into going to this convention? Is it gonna be enough by itself without the crochet? And we've already heard me say this five times in the past 6 weeks that I did 5 conventions in the past 6 weeks, and keeping up with that kind of pace with the majority of it being crochet is just not sustainable for me, for my wrists, for anything. So it was always something that I was trying to get away from. But when we're talking about 10 by 10 booths that cost between $900 and $1,500 to vend in, it was a really hard thing for me to let go. And when I started out in March, you'll see the first couple of vlogs, they still have crochet in them. They still have crochet in them, and I saw that the crochet stuff really took a hit. Like, it wasn't performing as well this year as it did in previous years. A couple reasons were, one, the competition for crocheted plushies and stuff has gone up. There are more and more people that are bringing crochet into Artist Alley, which I think is fine. So you have, more artists to compete with than you might have in, just a year and a half, 2 years ago, where it wasn't as common. But yeah, it's so much. Like, if I would have sold out of chickens at one event and I had 2 days to turn around and get ready for the next event, or if I had sold out of multiple, okay, let me rephrase this. So if I would have sold out of multiple items at one event and had to replace them by the time the next event came around, I was going to be working my fingers to the bone. Like, if I run out of chickens and opossums, which are my two biggest sellers or whatever, and had to replace them in 2 days worth of turnaround, in addition to restocking everything and getting everything set up for the next convention, I was going to be working my fingers to the bone. And it's just not something that is sustainable for me. It was at the second or third convention, I'm like, nope, I'm going to do what I said, and I'm just going to take the art table. We're going to make this happen with the art alone, and that is going to be that. And if it succeeds, it succeeds. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But this is what we're doing, because I cannot keep up. I was going to be running myself ragged. And luckily, it did succeed. The art table did really well, but even though the art table performed, shows in general across the last couple of months have been down somewhere between 30 and 50% across the board. For not just me, other artists have taken hits as well. So it's getting tougher and tougher. So how I'm combating this, I have decided, and I'm sticking to my guns with the decision that I made 8 or so months ago, that I'm not taking my crochet items to big conventions. It's just not going to happen. I am paring my stuff down to just my art table, and I'm going to be moving down from the booths that cost $800, $1,000, $1,200, $1,500, and I'm moving back into Artist Alley for the most part. Some of the larger shows, I will still apply for the big booths, but for the majority of them, I'm going to be paring down at an Artist Alley table. And considering that you're there with a 6-foot or 8-foot table space only, there's no moving things around, shifting things and turning it into a booth or anything like that. The limited amount of space is not going to allow for me to do both crochet and art. So we're going to do art. We're going to do art, and my crochet is not going anywhere. It's just going to shift into local events. It's going to shift to where there is less competition for similar items. So it's not going to make a comeback to conventions, but it is going to be still present in my business. It is still going to be present in my shop. It is still going to be present at local events. It's just that it's so much. And the further across the country I travel, we almost ended up in Hawaii this year, and to have taken or tried to take crochet items over to Hawaii would have been a nightmare. So the further we travel across the country, the more compact my stuff needs to be. And so it's not feasible for me to keep going full steam ahead with both to the convention circuit. Okay, so that being said, that's sort of one way that I am combating the current situation, is that crochet stuff is going to be here. It's going to be local. It's going to be my local, like, pop-up events where we're outside and we're just doing a local market. And art is what's going to travel with me so that I can keep the cost down, because instead of $1,000, $1,200 or something like that for a booth space that I really don't need that much room for just an art table, it'll be a couple $100 to, I think some of the more expensive tables that I've run across are like $400 or $500, but that's still half the cost of a 10 by 10 booth. You know what I'm saying? That's still only half. And so it's a lot easier to get into your profits with sales in a smaller space. So we're cutting costs. I don't have to pull the trailer with me to events. So if I'm just doing my art table, so that cuts down on gas prices. it's easier to set up than a full 10 by 10 booth. So that cuts down on maybe the extra day that I need to go and set up for a convention instead of doing it day of, or coming in, you know, coming in a day later than I would having set up a 10 by 10 booth. So it's just going to be easier for the business itself to be sustainable and to profit going forward that way. All right, so speaking of local markets, let's go into way number 2. I am trying to combat the current crises around small businesses and pop-ups and markets and all of that. I live in small town bumfuck nowhere. Just nowhere, okay? And so getting to an event that has got the amount of traffic that I need it to have is still an hour out for me. And I don't mind driving an hour, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, I still have to travel to these places, and days can get really, really long really quickly. So I'm still going to be going for markets sort of in the hour and a half-ish out, so that it's not something that I need to stay overnight for, but, you know, something that's not going to drive me mad in the process of trying to keep up with it. But in addition to that, and this is something that you might consider if you live in nowhere, if you live in nowhere and you don't have any really big cities surrounding you where they are putting on like weekly markets or monthly markets or things like that, where you see a lot of other creators who do market vlogs and stuff, where if you don't have that kind of opportunity, make your opportunity. Make your opportunity. That's what I'm going to be doing. Because while I may not have a lot of big city surrounding me, we do have a nice little town here, and there are still several local people who I'm sure would love to purchase little handmade gifts for their stuff. There just hasn't been the opportunity to do it. So I'm going to treat my little town the same as we sort of did in high school, where we did pop-up car washes and we did little just pop-up here and there kind of things. I'm going to go find a bank or a parking lot or something, get the contact information of whomever owns that structure or whatever, and go in and go, hey, do you mind if we sit out in your parking lot on a Saturday or a Sunday when you're not necessarily open, and have like a little pop-up thing? And 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, I don't mind. Go to your local Michael's. Go out, because I've seen Girl Scouts do it here recently. Go out to your local Michael's and go, hey, can I set up a little table right outside? And, you know, just talk to the managers there, and they're probably going to be like, I don't care. That's fine with me. They don't care when the little Girl Scouts do it. I mean, why would they care when anybody else did it? So, I mean, the worst they can say is no. The worst they can say is, you know what, we really just, we're not into that. And I'm like, okay, move on to the next. There's plenty of places on the main streets that people drive down and the main parking lots that people drive past around here, that I've seen, you know, so many different little things pop up on a nice weekend. I'm going to plan my weekends out this way. If I don't have a show to go to, I'm going to get my stuff together. I'm going to turn my little trailer into a little mobile shop, and we're going to go and we're going to do our own freaking thing. And then there's no competition. Then there's no fees, no competition, no nothing, you know. Or maybe, hey, if it's a bank, they want $20 for you to set outside their thing. I don't know. I don't know how it works, but we're going to find out. We're going to find out together. So if that's an idea that you want to steal from me, then go ahead. Go ahead. But I have been getting really, really into a few different things here recently. Like, I had started making my own sourdough breads. I have been baking a lot. I'm going to kill these dogs. I've been baking a lot. I've been doing all kinds of things. And so for me to set up a little farm stand here, even on my street, where we get a decent little amount of traffic, you know, have it open from such and such to such and such on a Saturday or a Sunday, and just advertise it locally on Facebook or Facebook Marketplace or anything like that, you know. And that's something that you can do locally. And then I could just load my stuff into my trailer and create this own little storefront inside my trailer. So I planned on taking my toy bins, and I'll fill my toy bins back up, and we'll have some little plush toys off to the side. We'll have some of my bigger plush items off to the side. I may throw some paintings out there, maybe take some stickers. I've got my foldable 5.5-foot table, and I've got to figure out if it's going to be something that fits inside my trailer widthways, so that I could set up a little checkout stand or whatever. I've got my canopy, so I can set up a canopy over by the trailer bed itself, so that could give people something to sort of walk up under and walk into. But yeah, that's probably going to be one of the next videos I film, is starting to convert my trailer into like a little pop-up shop that I can drive around town locally and up to like 30-45 minutes out, and set up for a few hours during the day, like some peak hours when people are out shopping on a weekend, and see what comes of it. So that's number 2. And local events in general, I'm still looking on places like Event Any and Facebook and Instagram for local events that may pop up that I would be interested in, that aren't quite as expensive to vend at as conventions. Even though you're dealing with the elements and outside, and it being a freaking 100 degrees outside during the summer because we live in the South, and but that's another way that I can sort of combat the issues that are facing my small business right now. All right, and then we got number 3. Number 3 is my online presence. I am still working on building up my online presence, my social media, doing my shop updates, building my email newsletter. If you want to join my email newsletter, jump down there and join it, because you're going to get special discounts and offers there. Building up my Patreon, building up, possibly going back to Etsy because of its built-in platform. I mean, we gotta be out here doing what we can do, and figuring all of this shit out as we sort of ride these waves and try to get on out of this situation and through to the other side without falling belly up. I am going to be building up a lot of my online presence, and I'm scared because I import most of my stuff from China. Like 99% of my imports come from China, so it's been great. I just requested 6 sticker sheets, the 7 new stickers, and a set of sticky notes, and I still have my washi tape to do as well for my bees and honey collection. But I'm scared to see the price change on this invoice that I get from my last invoice before all of this bullshit took place. So hoping that it's not too drastic. We're just gonna have to wait and find out until and when I get the quote, I guess I'll know. But bringing more products to the online shop is definitely going to be the third way that I'm sort of combating this issue. And it's so funny because I just watched Catnip's video today about her closing down her studios, and I'm like, girl, I'm with you. It's been a struggle for a minute, and we do always feel like we're like chasing the next thing that can be done. I feel like that here. I feel like I'm chasing the next product, chasing the next thing. And they went with, the roll-in printer and doing all their, bringing back their production in-house. Whereas I went with laser printing and now 3D printing and trying to model my own little characters. But still, I know why she's tired. Well, we're all there, honey. We're all there, and we completely understand. Trust me. That was one of the things that sparked me to make this video, because I was just going to do a podcast for my Patreon about all of these things running through my head, and then I'm like, no, we're just gonna throw it all out there, and then maybe that this will help someone else who's feeling a little bit overwhelmed at the moment too. So the amount of new products is probably going to decrease a little bit, only because it's getting really, really hard to import things. But I still want to be creative, and I still want to create stuff. So, I'm not at the point where I want to close down my shop. I don't think that I'll ever be at that point specifically, but switching gears and thinking more digital products right now that don't have to be shipped out has definitely been crossing my mind through the last month, 2 months. So I understand completely. And so when I was leaning into my crochet stuff and doing patterns, here's my newest one, by the way. I'm still working on it. It's not done. It has no face. But I drew out this little bee girl, or this little girl in a bee costume this one can be a little girl or a little boy. I decided not to put the hair on it so that it is gender neutral or whatever. But this little person in a bee costume, she still needs wings. I need to figure out if I want to do more waspy wings or if I want to do more circular wings. But this is going out on my Patreon for this month, probably by the end of the week, if you want a little bee person. But yeah, so doing more patterns instead of working my fingers to the bone on crochet. Doing digital items like digital coloring books, self-publishing, doing digital stickers and digital sticker sheets and all of that fun stuff, instead of making everything a physical copy of something, you know, licensing things out, doing wholesale and stuff like that. Is just, these are all things that have sort of gone on in my head. So I'm trying to figure out what the best course of action is going to be moving forward as far as that. But I would probably say it's a safe bet to be expecting more digital items from me, and me not going as crazy on the physical items, because nobody's actually pressuring me to make these items. The only person pressuring me to get these things done in whatever time frame that I have set in front of me is me. So I'm the one that's putting these, you know, these pressures on myself. And so I think I'm going to take it a little bit easier on how many things I create and just focus on bringing more variety into the things that I do make, bringing the digital versions in, getting more digital patterns, doing more like PDF versions of things where I can, or doing more image files and stuff like that, so that they're a little bit more passive in income streams than having to ship literally everything. But yeah, these are just some things that are going through my head. I'm probably going to be opening my Etsy back up again. So, hey, Everbee, if you want to sponsor me, I've been looking over your stuff, and, you know, just hit a girl up, because I'm probably about to open my Etsy shop back up. Not because I love their fees, because I don't. I absolutely don't. But because I need the eyes to hit my stuff that, you know, just aren't there organically on the website yet. So, anyways, I have rambled for over 20 minutes now to tell you 3 different things that I'm doing to sort of combat the issues that are facing me as a small business right now. If any of them spark some ideas in you, you know, please let me know down in the comments. If you found any of this helpful, let's leave little bee emojis in the comments this week. And yeah, don't forget to like and thumbs up. You may get more YouTube content out of me now that the big rush of conventions for me is over, because my YouTube has definitely taken a hit since I went down to 1 video a week. But, you know, we're going to be beefing that back up. So if there's things that you would like to see from the channel here, do you want to see more pattern designs? Do you want to see more day in the lives? Do you want to see like more art videos, tutorials, how-tos, anything like that? Let me know down in the comments what you would like to see from the channels. And yeah, I think we're gonna call it here. I think this is gonna end my ramble. But if you have other suggestions that you would like to make down in the comments below on how people can sort of combat the issues that are going on right now here in the US, feel free to share them in the comments, and we can all just sort of help keep each other from giving up. Help keep each other from giving up on things as we're trying to get through and navigate this crazy time. But yeah, I love your faces so much. I will see you in the next video, where we probably start to convert my trailer into a little pop-up shop. And I'm kind of excited about it, and I'm really excited about bringing you guys along with me to see how it goes. So stay tuned. Like, subscribe, do all the things. I love you so much. I love your faces. Okay, I love you. I love you.